Alright, everyone, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, playing as the Spanish Empire, and we need to have a talk. This is going to be a shorter episode than normal, but we need to have a talk. As you guys can see, the world is an absolute fucking shit show. It's an absolute fucking crock of shit. This is probably one of the most egregious and terrible freaking just states of the game that we've probably ever dealt with. Now, most of you probably haven't realized because I really haven't talked about it too much in this series, but we've been talking about it on the Discord, and me and Retnav have been talking about it in private, and a couple other people I've been talking to. And the game, in my opinion, it has reached a point of borderline unplayability. There's just so much going on. Diplomacy is absolutely fucked, and things are just not in a good state whatsoever. I plan on actually doing up a review, a new review for Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts on the Steam forums. I plan on deleting my current review, which is basically bog standard, just funny haha thing, to actually placing a proper review on the game. I also plan on doing a post on the Steam forums, and I plan on doing a bit of a Let's Talk episode this Friday. So there will be no Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts video this Friday, and really this is going to, again, when I say this is going to be short, I'm probably just going to be talking for the most part. I'm probably not actually going to be really playing anything. I just wanted to open the game to kind of give you guys a little bit of a demonstration and a visualization for what I'm talking about. So one of the things that we need to talk about first and foremost are the diplomacy changes that occurred. I think this is the one thing that we really need to understand. Diplomacy is absolutely just fucked. It's absolutely, if you just look across here, it's an absolute fucking monstrosity. And then the recent update, Minor Nations Attack, has also turned this into a bit of a absolute just clusterfuck to begin with. For example, if you pay attention in the early game, you'll notice that now, I will admit we've kind of been spared from that in this campaign so far, probably because it's not a new campaign, and so it's not generating certain things properly. Possibly, maybe, I don't know, but we're running into problems here that are fucking horrendously stupid. But if you load up a new game, you start playing, you'll notice very quickly, like, if you just don't do anything, like, say you play as the United States, because I've been doing a side play of the United States. Have no ships, just cycle through the first 2 years to get the first proper pre-dreadnought battleship tonnage that you need in order to make a good, decent pre-dreadnought. You'll notice that South America is an absolute shit show. Basically, Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Argentina, Chile, like, all of them are just going back and forth, back and forth. It's just a chaotic fucking mess down here. Conquests are popping up. Like, if you look at this map, like, the conquests are just absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's like, okay, we wanted an improvement, but this just kind of went overboard across all metrics. Like, this whole thing has just become an absolute shit show. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, but we've wanted major improvements with this system. We wanted major scaling, and I'm sorry, but this is taking balance to a whole new level of foobar. Like, we have reached a point where it has become untenable to, oh, look at that, Ireland is actually free in its proper location. Holy shit. Hallelujah, it actually happened. But we've reached a point of, this game is, again, it's kind of just reached a point of unplayability. Now, another diplomacy aspect we'll talk about is the diplomacy when it comes to when you're trying to get out of wars. We look at the situation with me in China here, and I've been trying to get out of this war for probably a year in game, 2 years at this point in time. Like, I've continuously tried getting out of this war. And yet, for some fucking reason, the Chinese just won't take the peace, even though I've absolutely ass blasted them. Like, this is a 10-to-1 ratio on VPs. Or, no, 100-to-1. 100-to-1. 100-to-1 ratio on VPs. Sorry, I had to do some math there. Wait, is that 100-to-1? Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm fucking tired and my I'm not trying to fucking do this math right now. But you see the ratio, 149,000 versus 1,500. It's a huge fucking disparity. The Chinese should be begging me for peace, and yet I can't get a peace deal worth shit. The French should be begging me for peace, and they have not tried offering one whatsoever that I can remember. There might have been like one in there or whatever when I was first trying to conquer this area, but it's like they should be begging me for a peace. In the case of the Americans, it's like I should have already been done with this crap and pushing over here, take out the Americans here, and then push over here and start taking them out over here. Like, it's like, okay, I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything because it's just such a slog. And then if we come here to diplomacy again, like, we're talking about a horrendous situation where it's like, okay, I have decent relations across the board. These two can't fucking just help but love me. The Soviet Union can't help but love me. The Germans, I don't know what's going on with the Germans. I don't remember any events involving them. But with the Japanese, it's like I am not interacting with the Japanese whatsoever. I am not interacting with them whatsoever. And yet I am fighting off going to war with them every single time. And it's gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't feel good playing this game at this point in time. Especially because it's like, okay, yeah, I want to be able to do things on my terms that are influenced by the game, but not dictated to me. Like, if I wanted to play a game where it was dictated to me, I would play Supreme Commander, for example. Which, if you play Supreme Commander, you understand what I'm referring to. And Supreme Commander is a great game. But I want to play that game because the objectives are dictated to me. And I have this big old situation that I have to try to contend with on a large scale. In this scenario, I'm like, okay, hey, I want to be able to influence politics. You know, I want to be able to improve relations with the Japanese because I don't want to go to war with the Japanese. And so I should be able to hit improve relations. And because I'm well over like I could change governments and keep my job. I'm well over that threshold. And yet for some reason I can't get a fucking improved relations whatsoever. I can't get a peace deal whatsoever. Like the whole situation is just an absolute fucking farce. Now, real quick, I actually need to go look at something else because there was something else that somebody brought up to my attention that I'm kind of blanking on. I'm blanking on it. Oh, the whole new system for what's the word? The whole new system for controlling the actions of the government, or influencing the actions of the government, I should say. And I love that system. I love it to death. I think it was something that needed to be in way before now. But the problem is now it's like, okay, well, I need to tell the government to go fuck itself because I have to try to fucking maintain relationships, but I can't maintain the relationships, and thus I have to tell the government to go fuck itself, and then I'm wasting money paying off governments to keep from going to war with them. Like, my American campaign's been horrendous. Like, I think I have had to pay off, what was it? Was it China? It was either China or Japan. I can't remember, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm trying to consolidate shit. I'm trying to organize shit. And I'm currently working on taking out the Spanish, and yet I'm having to pay out, 200 million to get either one of these nations to fuck off long enough for me to finish what I'm trying to do. And then I get to the point where I contain the Spanish. I've restricted them to their mainland holdings here. And I can't get a peace deal because reasons. I think I tried for six attempts or something like that, 6 or 7, and can't get a peace deal. It's the same thing that I've had with the Chinese in this campaign so far. So it's just come to a point where I'm very much just annoyed at the game. And then we also have the changes to the gun systems, and we've got the balancing changes to certain accuracy modifiers, and this, that, and the other, the weight changes, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to say it right now, and I'm going to say it for the devs to understand. At this point in time, it feels like you're literally making changes to piss off the players purposefully, to kill the game so that you don't have to work on it anymore because your Swedish overlords have told you to do your job. That's what this feels like at this point in time. Now, for those who might not understand what I'm referring to, so Game Labs is a Ukrainian company, which, oh, great, awesome. That just tells me everything I need to fucking know about the quality of the devs. Hey, anybody who's a fan of the Stalker series understands what I'm referring to. But the point is that this Ukrainian company was just picked up back in 2021, I should say. Back in 2021 by a Swedish company. I forget the name of the company off the top of my head. I do apologize. But they were picked up by a Swedish publisher. And basically everything kind of coincides with what we've seen over the past couple of years. Where, if you notice, the game reached its 1.0 state very quickly. Very, very quickly after the buyout by the Swedish publisher. And that was clearly hey, you need to finish the game. You need to get it to its full release status. Okay, cool. So game gets to full release status. Game is okay-ish, but not great. But everybody was kind of okay. And then 1.1 comes out. And 1.1 is a good build. But then 1.2 is an even better build. And then 1.3, still a good build. 1.4, okay, kind of weird, a middling build, not all that great. Then 1.5 comes out. 1.5 fixes some of the problems of 1.4, but introduces new problems. And then 1.6 comes out, and basically since 1.6 has come out, it's been an absolute shit show. It's been an absolute nightmare. It's been one of the worst builds that we've, like, every update, like part of the Let's Talk video that I want to do on Friday, will be going through the full change logs from this past month, and you notice how they're doing all these micro updates and so on and so forth. And this is something else I want to talk about is the modding community, because the modding community has been making great strides. Now, I'm not going to talk about Dreadnought Improvement Project in this case because I'm just going to say it. Brother Monroe created Dreadnought Improvement Project so that he had his own personal playground. Like, Dreadnought Improvement Project was not really meant to improve the game. It was literally to give him his own version of the game that he enjoyed playing because he doesn't know how to build warships in this game. I'm sorry to tell everybody this, but he does not know how to build boats. And as such, he needed to create a version of the game that was more conducive to his playstyle. That's why the damage values are so weird in that version. If you don't think I'm correct on that, then just kind of watch his content. He's a cool dude, but I see where DIP came from. But then you have things like Naval Arms Race, which Naval Arms Race is an attempt to completely revamp the game. And I am going to dive into Naval Arms Race and I'm going to give Naval Arms Race a try to see how it performs, if the changes for it are conducive to me continuing to play this game. Because at this point in time, I kind of don't feel like playing this game because of the ridiculous and onerous changes that the devs keep making that makes the game feel like shit. Now, this is where I think a big portion of the problems what we're having with like the micro patching and the random update times and whatnot. Like we're like, has anybody noticed there's no schedule to the updates anymore? Like we used to get updates like once a month at most, maybe once every 2 weeks. And it just depended on what was going on, like previously, like way previously. And then the modding community started stepping in because people were starting to get annoyed with things, and then there was a bunch of micro patching. Now, if you guys don't understand what the micro patching is meant to do, this is to break the mods. Because they go in, they change something, they rewrite a piece to be able to break the mods. And thus people have to play. Basically, the only way to play a stable mod version is to revert back to one of the betas, and then that allows, not betas, but to revert back to a previous version to be able to continue playing the mod. And basically, what we're starting to see across the board is it feels like the devs are getting mad that the modders are starting to usurp them as the developers. Because again, when all of a sudden, if you guys realize, and I've seen the chatter, I've seen the talking, and me and my community members have talked about this. Oh, look at that! Netherlands is attacking Belgium, like proper Dutch. Ah, thank you. Take out those Flemish bastards. Leave the Wallonians alone, or else we'll fucking rebel and kill you. Anyways, by the way, I'm French Walloon. On my mother's side, that's a portion of the family. I'm French Walloon and Italian on my mother's side, with a connection to the British through the French side, which fun stuff there. Anyways, getting back. The point is that, you notice how people have started talking about the modding and everything, and they're like, oh my god, like being able to play as the Greeks, being able to play as the Ottomans, being able to play as the Dutch, being able to play as the Argentinians, the Brazilians, etc., etc. This is cool. This is awesome. Like one of the things that we've talked about previously in other videos, the ability to play as like one of the South American nations and be able to participate in the South American dreadnought race. A lot of people don't know this, but historically there was a big old dreadnought race down in this region of the world because they were competing against one another to see who could gain an upper hand within this region. The Ottomans, their continuous wars against the Greeks and against the other powers within the region, trying to maintain their supremacy of the Middle East and their eventual collapse. There's a lot of really cool things that Naval Arms Race introduces by unlocking these nations. A lot of playability that you previously did not have. And so the developers don't like it. They don't like it at all because they fucking hate anybody who steps on their toes and steals their thunder. It's just a fact of development. If you do not understand that, like, this is why Bethesda was so anti-modder back in the day, because people were making their games better than what Bethesda could make. And this rings true for a lot of game developers across the board. There's a reason why cease and desist orders are so fucking thrown around like they are. But I digress. So, yeah, I'm not sure at this point in time I want to continue playing UAD. And I'm not sure that I'm going to continue playing UAD in this form. Like, I can't be brought to care about the game at this point in time in this current form. I will be doing some playtesting of Naval Arms Race. I've yet to do it because, unfortunately, I don't want to have to sit and try to back up files and try to do the whole file dancing and all that bullshit. And so previously I have not played Arms Race because of the fact of the whole file dancing, because once I install Naval Arms Race onto the disk or onto the game files, it erases my saves. So unfortunately, I have not been able to play it yet, but I am going to be playing it. I will probably actually do a little bit of playtesting tomorrow. However, as it stands, the Spanish campaign will come to an end. We've learned a lot. We've experienced a lot with this campaign. We've learned the power of fucking torpedoes. Like you guys have seen the fucking damage you can do with torpedoes in this game, and this right here shows, this campaign showed you it. And I loved playing this campaign, but I cannot play this game in this current format. I just do not believe it's a good product at this point in time. And it's really sad. It's really, really, really fucking sad, because it's a great concept and the developers just need to stop fucking being little bitches. And yes, I will say this to the developers right now. If you want to whine and you want to cry like a bunch of little schoolgirls, congratulations, keep being a bunch of little schoolgirls. This is why none of you can get fucking laid by hot fucking Ukrainian and hot Russian women. You fucking little bitches. Anyways, guys, I love you all. I'm going to talk to you later. I'm convinced about 99% chance I know what game I'm going to go ahead and start as a new series, so we'll be getting back with that next Monday. But this Friday is going to be a Let's Talk, that we go down and we start talking about all the changes that they've made so far in the month of October, and then we will reset and be back on Monday. So I love you all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.